So I was 4 when we first started moving every 3 years or less. I was always in new places with new people and new things. I'm an only kid, so I just thought it was a way to keep me busy. But by grade 4, my parents had toted me across 15,000 kilometers in our shiny big red car. I remember its red and cream tweed back seat better than the places I lived. You know, Wiki says a comfort zone is a psychological state in which things feel familiar to a person, where they feel at ease and in control of their environment, experiencing low levels of anxiety and stress. Well, that might be what Wiki thinks, but my comfort zones were always on the move. I'd keep having everything worked out in my life, like who was my best friend, where to go for gymnastics and ballet, and then we'd move. Moving meant playing more Monopoly by myself because, new friends don't just magically appear. Growing up as an outsider everywhere always had me looking for a way to fit in because I desperately wanted to feel connected and to be a part of something. And every time I did, it was over. And there was no social media, so goodbyes were forever. Then out of the blue, I felt like I discovered the meaning of life the day I swam the length of the pool all by myself. I remember my little 8-year-old body using all of my power, reaching and breathing and kicking. And when I touched the end with my hand, it felt like winning an Olympic gold medal. Every cell in my body was beaming. And I said, yes, like I won. This was the hugest moment ever because it was the first time I felt totally alive. And now I could do something my parents couldn't. They didn't even know how to swim. I felt strong, smart, and brave. And I was so over the moon happy and proud, I promised myself right then and there, I was going to spend the rest of my life discovering all the ways I could feel this good, like a power glow. And I wanted to hold on to this precious feeling forever. I thought I should take a picture of it, but I didn't have a camera. I'm soaking wet in the pool. So I just turned my body into one, and I took a snapshot, like, from the inside out, because that way, I'd always have a way back in. So even though the moments in the pool showed me the way to extreme happiness that no one could take away, becoming a teenager almost broke me. Just when I got competitive in one sport and interested in boys, I was diagnosed with a scoliosis in my back and sentenced to 3 years in a body cast. I already had braces on my teeth and was terrified of asthma attacks that could kill me. Now I felt ugly and just wanted to hide. This isn't how I wanted to show up at my new high school. I was convinced there was something seriously wrong with me. Why can't I just catch a break? Getting robbed of sports made me give up on the biggest dream I was training for, to be an Olympic figure skater. Life was shattering my heart, and parts of me felt like dying because parts of me were getting afraid to live. Finding my power glow in art saved me until university gave me hope. I had a vision of helping children heal from trauma. So I studied developmental psych and worked doing play therapy with kids in hospital. But then a buried memory came up from when I was in grade 1. And now my hope in humanity was gone, and I dangled in despair. And then I got mad because I didn't know how much more injustice I could take. All I could do was keep dreaming of a place where nothing would hold me back. I started thinking of the wild outdoors because snow, water, rocks, and gravity don't lie. Nature tells you the truth about you. So the day I jumped into the Jeep with my hot outdoorsy boyfriend and headed to the Yukon, it was like winning the lottery. 6 months later, I had my first do or die experience. It was only like my 4th whitewater trip, and we came up on a deadly canyon sooner than expected. I hear the thunderous roar coming from around this left corner, and my blood freezes. We make an emergency exit in the first spot we can, but now we're up against the cliff, and we got to get to the other side without getting any closer or sucked into that killer roar. Oh my God. I know that keeping the perfect angle, paddling upstream into head-on waves requires laser focus and finesse. And if we miss a beat, we'll flip over. I start thinking of capsizing, losing all our food and gear, getting my head smashed like a tomato, losing my boyfriend, and then I snap out of it. We don't have time for that. Wasting our precious moments on fear thoughts is a recipe for disaster, because I can already feel the hypothermia creeping up my legs and draining my energy. My legs are going numb because I'm standing up to my hips in glacier water, holding onto the canoe just so we can think. In do or die situations, you've got to lock and load your confidence for what you can do. There is no room for self-doubt, because you've got to go from holy shit to let's do this on the spot. So with seconds to go, I get back in the boat and I rivet my knees into position to become one with the canoe. And I energetically tether us to our focal point on the other side. It's a rock. And as I think of the strokes I need to make, I invoke precision and power into every cell of my body. And say, ready, we count to 3. The next thing I know, we're keeping time with these huge choppy waves slapping my face. But suddenly it feels like we're not going anywhere. And I need to know how we're doing. I mean, do I have to paddle even harder or what? And I can't take my eyes off the rock because I can barely see it in between the waves and all the water in my face. And then the most incredible things start happening. Time slows down and reality starts to bend. And I float up above my body and I see that we're about halfway. Okay, good. We're doing it. If we keep going like this, we should be okay. And now, suddenly, I can feel the forces of nature pulsing through my veins. And I feel powerful beyond measure. And I know the final test is coming, timing my draw stroke at the end. And when I plant my paddle, we fly into shore like a miracle in action. After this epic experience, I realized it doesn't just happen. I could create it. You know, the power glow. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. So now I knew I had what it takes to keep that promise to my 8-year-old and find my power glow in a whole bunch of ways. In reinventing myself in 27 different positions across 17 sectors gave me the gift of helping an amazing array of people up their game in performance, creativity, and leadership. And I'm not an Olympic athlete, but so far I've paddled over 2,200 kilometers of whitewater rivers, skied over 10,000 kilometers, done 29 sports, and I'm expert in 5. I homeschooled my son in grade 1. He entered grade 2 with grade 4 math skills, and today he's one of the youngest finance executives in his niche. And after suffering with that asthma for 26 years, I cured it in 45 minutes. Because here's what I know. When we feel proud of ourselves, we love who we are. And when we glow, we feel like our own hero and experience more of our brilliance than we ever thought possible. Because when we glow, we bring out the best in ourselves and each other. And this is now a proven fact for hacking our greatest potentials and possibilities. I found out the power glow is called flow states, also known as in the zone. All world-class creativity, performance, and leadership come from flow states because they are how we feel our best to create, perform, communicate, and collaborate at our highest levels. Our world needs all of the inspired genius we are, making the difference we want to make. And here's the thing, we already have the abilities to do it. Our greatest challenge is to go inside and find them. It took me years to understand my calling, and now I have the honor of helping people with big goals and dreams connect with their genius, flow, and fearless soul, especially when it counts the most, so they can accelerate their successes, growth, and impact. Because like me, they just can't wait to make our world a better place. Thank you.